right, hello everybody. My name is Pam Okeson and welcome to 6 Tips at 6, our second edition. Tonight we're going to be talking about TumbleBooks, and I just want to comment that you're going to see a virtual background there. I am not at the library, but we want to make you feel at home like we're at the library, so there you go with a beautiful view down our bookshelves there. All right, so this week our 6 tips are going to focus on TumbleBooks, and TumbleBooks are animated talking picture books with sound, music, and narration, especially for kids. But there are also chapter books and graphic novels in this resource, and even classics for tweens and teens. So let me share my screen and we'll get started with our 6 tips. And let me get my spotlighter for my cursor so that you can kind of follow along real easily here. Okay, our first tip, no login required for TumbleBooks. Access does not require having any additional information. So to access TumbleBooks, you're going to go to Library Online from the library's website and go to Stream and Download. And scroll just past the overdrive information to our TumbleBook information, and you'll see an icon here on the side that you can click to enter TumbleBooks. This resource adapts really well on most devices. We tested it out and it appears to be working well on Apple devices as well. But there are some apps available that you can find right here. There's no need to place a hold or check anything out with TumbleBooks. That's a really great reason to just jump in and start using with your kids. I did want to point out that there are a couple of collections here. There's 2 different symbols. The top one here is the symbol you'll see for the kids collection. The bottom one here is the symbol you'll see for the teen book cloud. And there are links right here to those 2 different collections. So very quick and easy, that's our second tip, is that we've got different collections for kids as well as teens. So let's go ahead and go into TumbleBooks and see how we can find content to read. Okay, so here we are. You can find content. So that's our tip number 3, is how do you find titles? You can scroll and look at some of the different collections that they have available here. We've got new books, we've got Marianne's picks, we've got some quick reads. And to enter into some information on a title, you just click on the cover of the book and you'll see some information there, like more details about the author, reading level. You can click into accelerated reader info here to get some more information, and then right inside this view you can see read online. So let's take a look at some other ways that we could find books. We also have up here at the top, you'll see playlists. What's interesting about playlists is you can discover some titles that don't take real long to read, or if you've got a lot of reading time, there's a whole playlist that will play for up to like 40 minutes. So once you click into one of these collections or these playlists and start reading, it'll advance from one book to the next, and it'll give you an amount of time to read through those books. Another way to discover titles is simply to go up here at the top right-hand corner and click on Tumble Search. And that will open a screen where you can search in several different categories here. It can only search one of these at a time. So for example, if we want to look for what matters, let's type that in. We can search for that title. We can't do an author and a title search at the same time. Here's a fun little book that's related to the environment, maybe a great Earth Day book that you could take a look at. But that's another way to discover information. If you know an author, a favorite author, you can use that Tumble search up there at the top for searching. Okay. next tip that we're going to offer is how to customize your reading experience or improve your reading experience. So let's go back to the home page here with TumbleBooks in the kids collection. And we've got some storybooks here. So let's just jump in and take a look at this Golden Threads and see what it's like to read inside of the book. Let's go ahead and click Read Online. And what we're going to get is the TumbleBook player. And what you would do is just click the arrow at the front and it would start the book. You get audio and animation all at the same time. So that's what the player looks like for this particular book. It can move forward and you can navigate through there. Let's take a look at a different one. Let's look at a read-along title and see what it looks like for a read-along. So in our early readers, let's take a look at a book called A Frog in My Throat. And what's interesting about this reading experience is that there is a player and there's audio narration, but the yellow highlighting will move along with the audio narration. So if I click play here,
Chapter 1.
It reads at a pace that's appropriate for the reading level, and it highlights the words as they're being ready. So read, so that a student or a young person could read and listen at the same time. Great tip.
They'd seen it 3 times.
I'm going to press pause. And let's take a look at the chapter books style of experience of reading. We're going to go down to our eBooks down here, and let's click on Let Sleeping Dogs Lie and see what that looks like. Let's do a read online there. So here you can notice there's no player for automatic play. This is a little bit more of a traditional reading experience, but you advance to the next page with the little green button down here. So when we're ready to move on, we just click forward. I think it's important to note that if you want to remember where you were in the book, if you click bookmark, it should bookmark it so that you can find your bookmarks back later and continue reading from that spot. There's also some options here to improve your reading experience. If you need a larger text size, you can increase the text size. Maybe you prefer a different type of font. You can change your font, and you can see how the reading experience changes here. Let's take a look at the Teen Book Cloud and the reading experiences there. A regular book is going to look a lot like that last one that we just looked at. But there are also some enhanced eBooks that I want to point out with the Teen Book Cloud. So let's take a look at these eBooks. And let's see. We can take a look at Big Dose of Lucky here. So for the teen experience, if we do read online with an enhanced ebook, it's very similar to the read along that we saw in one of the other titles back there, A Frog in My Throat. But you'll see that with the higher reading level, the pacing is a little faster.
When I walk into town on a Saturday afternoon to buy,
All right. And then one more thing that I'd like to point out to you is that you can find audiobooks for the teen collection up here on the far right. And the audiobooks, let's see, let's take a look at The Haunting of Hill House. It has like a player built right into it. And you'll have play, next track, stop here. Down here at the bottom, you'll see your progress. You can also set bookmarks here. But again, this is like just a different way to read and listen. Okay, let's go back to the kids collection here for tip number 5. And that is a great tip for educators and caregivers, but particularly educators. if you would like to integrate, this is a brand new feature that was just announced recently. If you want to integrate your title into Google Classroom, find the title that you want and click on the number, and you will get a URL that you can copy and paste into Google Classroom and integrate this title into an assignment. It's a really great free feature to take advantage of. That is just fabulous to have that easy integration. One more little thing here for educators, there's also a Common Core list here. So if you want to focus on a particular reading category here for literature or informational text, you've got some links to discover. For example, here you've got reading information text for grade 1. So just a little bit of support there, that's really helpful. And then our last tip is just a few additional features that are available in the actual books. So let's go back to our home page here. And let's click into ACE Lacewing Bug Detective. There's a bunch of additional features here that you'll want to pay attention to if you'd like to take advantage of them. There's some built-in quizzes. So for students that you would like to maybe complete a quiz, you would have options there. Some lesson plans with some additional information there that you can use. It opens up in another window, and you'll have some information there for building your lessons. And then there's this really neat little book report tool in here. So it kind of walks through some steps. So if I were to type my name in here with this prompt, and I'm in K through 3, I can type in the title of my book, and then go to the next step, and it will ask me some questions. And then by the time you're done, you can print and have a little report. So that would kind of help build through that process. Some tips, additional feature tips in the Teen Cloud would be the AP titles. We've had some questions recently from educators working from home about access to AP titles, and this is a really great way to access some AP titles. There's also some poetry down here at the bottom. Keep in mind April is Poetry Month, so you might want to take advantage of some of the items that are there. And then also, it's kind of neat in the Teen Book Cloud when you go to the index. I'm going to just go to the letter G here for an example and go down to Grade Expectations. If you look at the titles, you can see that there's an AP title here, just a regular version, and an audiobook. So if you're looking for maybe a title that has the option to read versus the option to listen to, you can kind of see that all in one place here. So maybe you wanted to offer both the AP link in your Google Classroom as well as the audiobook link. That would be a great way to identify those titles and share them out. All right. Those are our 6 tips tonight. We hope that those tips help you get started with TumbleBooks. And we will see you back next week. We will be talking about Flipster to get you started with a digital newsstand of magazines that we have available here at the library. Have a great evening, and see you back soon.